Hey guys, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. It's beer 30. Let's go take a walk, see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. You might recognize this. We did this beer back in June of 2016. Brandon C. down in Texas sent me that one, and he has sent me another one, and he actually wrote enjoy on this one, so I don't think he was expecting me to re-review it. But it's been 12 months, a little more than 12, no, it's been longer than that. It's been 14 months. This is August the 26th of 2017, and this is the 2017 edition of it. Bottle on date here says March 31st of 2017. The 2017 edition, this is a 9%er, and it's got 40 IBUs. It's got all 3 bits of information right here on the back label that we want to see. So founders, 2 thumbs up to those guys for doing what they're doing and giving us all 3 bits of information. A lot of times on this style of beer you don't get the IBUs or the ABV. A lot of breweries don't think that's important, and I like how Founders does it. If they want to use the same label over and over again, that's fine. And then they can just put another label on the back that gives you a little more information with the ABV, IBUs, and all that. Or they can put it on this little banner label on the top of the bottle. That way they don't have to have a new approval for their label that they're putting on the front of the beer. So I like how they do their stuff. And Founders makes some excellent beers, guys. Anybody that's had any of their stuff, I mean, some of their stuff is cult following. Their KBS and CBS, and some of those other beers are get on a list and or be in the right place at the right time, or limited bottles to 1 or 2 or whatever. They're very sought after beers. Some of their beers are, and this one right here, being a 9%er, I would say it comes in a 4-pack. I don't know what this beer costs. Brandon, you might put that in there, what a bottle or a 4-pack of this costs. I am not sure, guys. I would think it would probably, a 4-pack of this would be in the $10 to $15 range, being a 9%er, and especially done with coffee. When I did it last June, I was thinking the only way this could be better is to put it in a bourbon barrel. Well, the problem with putting it in a bourbon barrel or some kind of barrel at an age, the coffee will fade, just like hops do. I mean, they're even putting IPAs and double IPAs in bourbon barrels, and the hops fade over time, guys. I mean, there are some styles that do well with barrel aging or bourbon barrel aging, but if you're having coffee added to the beer or hops, if you're doing an IPA or double IPA, something that's supposed to be hop forward, those hops fade when they're in the barrels. So unless they're re-dry hopping it, it doesn't work well with that style of beer, in my opinion. And this being a brown ale, and it was done in March, and this is August, so it doesn't take a rock. You can use your fingers. April, May, June, July, August, 5 months in the bottle. So this has probably been a little bit more coffee forward in March or April, maybe even May, that I'm probably going to get here in end of August here. So hopefully it's still going to be very tasty. So Brandon C. down in Texas, thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. My brother, big beer, 9%. This may be one that you want to have at home instead of having it at a bar or a brew pub or something, unless you have a designated driver, guys. Just be careful out there. I don't want to see you get hurt or hurt anybody else. Commercial description says this bold Imperial brown ale gets its body from a team of malts, including caramel malt for sweetness, flaked barley for dense foam, a bit of chocolate malt, and a steep color, and aromatic and Munich malts. To adding more depth, German and pearl hops add a touch of bitterness to balance the malty sweetness. The addition of rich Sumatra coffee takes this perfectly balanced Imperial brown ale to a decadent level. Sumatra coffee, guys, is like espresso. Super strong, up in your face coffee notes. So I'm hoping I'm going to get that on this one. Like I said, but it's been in the bottle for 5 months. So hopefully we're still going to get some of those coffee notes. I hope so. So that's why I decided to go ahead. So I'm just enjoying it. Go ahead and re-review it. I'm not going to hack it a lot because it is 5 months old. But I've got a feeling this is still going to have a good coffee presence. I'm hoping so anyway. So that's all we need to talk about. As far as IBUs, guys, Untapped has it at 40. So it should be a very easy drinking Imperial brown ale with coffee. So the brown ales don't usually have coffee added to them. So it's a nice change up from your typical brown ale. Most of the coffee beers are either porters or stouts. So that's all we need to talk about. So let's stop talking and start pouring. Let me get the cap off this bad boy. Nice little hiss, a little bit of smoke coming out. To the glass we go. It's not super black coming out of the bottle. It looks like a brown ale coming out of the bottle. Food pairings, cuisine is barbecue. The cheeses are earthy, camembert, fontina. Your nutty cheeses, I'll sell with Colby. Parmesan, and it says here goes well with the chocolate dishes. And the meat is beef. Glass for the pint, back and on tumbler mug, side down. I'm using my favorite tulip glass again today. And not recommended for extended celeries because of the coffee. So, didn't pour hardly any head. It's not even covering the top of the beer. Over to the light, it is a nice, rich, brown, mahogany color. Good looking beer. And I can see light through the thin part of the glass, but not up here in the big bold part. So, to the nose we go. Rich roasted malt. I'm getting hints of some bittersweet chocolate. Slight hint of the coffee. I was expecting a little more coffee notes on this. Probably going to get it in the taste. It's cold right out of the fridge. Those notes will probably come out as it warms up, which I always do, guys. No matter what the style of beer is, I always let it warm up. Unless it's a lager or something. I like those lagers within the first 15 minutes. These big, heavier, darker beers, 30 minutes or longer. So, it smells pretty good. Hints of caramel and toffee. May even be some dark fruit in there once it warms up. So let's dive in and see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Brandon. In the taste, the coffee is there, guys. Very, very nice. And like I said, I'm glad that it's still there. It probably would have been out a lot more potent in March or April when it was first put in the bottle. But it might have been a little boozier at that time too. Very nice. If you don't like coffee, you're not going to probably like this, guys. There are a lot of people that don't like coffee, don't drink coffee. But if you do, you'll probably like this. Very nice. At this stage of the game, at 5 months, it's very balanced. The coffee notes are there. They're not off the chain like they probably would have been fresh. It's got a nice sweetness to it. It's a very, very well made beer, guys. Like I said, this is probably a beer that you would not want to sell for 2, 3, 5 years or longer because the coffee's going to fade. That's another reason I went ahead and jerked it out and did it now, because he just sent it to me a week or so ago. I wanted to get to it pretty quick because it did. It is a Sumatra coffee, which is a big, bold coffee. So, we'll let you cold right out of the fridge and let it warm up, let her taste it, and we'll come back and see where we end up on this one. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just to the left here. I'm a little more unimpressed than I was last year. I think last year when I did it, it was a little fresher than this. They must do this in March of every year. And I did it in June. Now it's 2 months later on the 2017 version. And I can tell the coffee's not as pungent and as strong as it was then. This is one you do not want to cellar because of the coffee. If you don't like coffee, yeah, you might want to cellar for a little while and let that coffee die down a little bit. But if you don't like strong coffee, I do. So I can tell the difference now. Last time I had it, I thought it was a 9 out of 10. I don't think it's quite that good now, being 5 months in the bottle. The coffee's not as strong as I remember it being the last time. So, like I said, probably not one you'd want to sell, or you'd want to pick this up fresh as soon as it comes out to get that super strong up in your face Sumatra coffee. So I do think it has faded a little bit more this time than when I had it last time that Brandon sent it to me. So, but still very tasty. The coffee's there, but it's not as strong. It's not off the chain like I remember it being last time. So, final chug. And me personally, guys, this is just my 2 cents. When this is put in the bottle, I think it is at least a 9, maybe even a 10 beer when it's fresh. I think I gave it a 9 last time, and I said something stupid like I think the only way it could be better is to put it in a bourbon barrel. Well, that would definitely be a bad thing to do now as far as I'm concerned, because the coffee's going to fade even more while it's resting in those bourbon barrels. The bourbon's going to come out, but the coffee's going to fade. So, like I said, I think I gave it a 9 out of 10 this time. I am going to give it a 9 again, because I don't want to tell you this is not a good beer to buy, because it's 5 months old, but I just got it though. So I still think it's a 9 out of 10, but not as tasty as it would have been in March or April when it was first put in the bottle. I had it a little bit fresher last time, like I said, than I'm having it now. The biggest reason I still feel that way is because they're giving us a bottled on date on the back. They're giving us the ABV, and they're giving us the IBUs. All 3 bits of information to make an educated purchase. So, if you can buy it fresh, guys. Buy it fresh. And treat this beer like this. So it's got coffee in it, just like an IPA or a double IPA. As fresh is better. Because coffee does fade like hops do on this kind of beer, guys. The reason I'm giving it a 9 is because they're giving us all 3 bits of information on it. And I don't think I should detract from that, because I just got it and it's been in the bottle for 5 months. So I am going to give it a 9 out of 10 again. And like I said, if I'd have had it in March or April, I would probably give this a 10, guys. I don't think it should be aged in bourbon barrels like I said the last time, because I have learned that does not work out too well with coffee. So, if I'd have had this, like I said, in March or April, I would probably thought this was a 10. I would probably give it a 10, guys. I really would have. So I'm going to give it a 9, give them the benefit of the doubt, because they are giving us all that information. 95 for me. So, without rambling on any further, Beer Advocate also says 95 world class. And over to Untapped, they have it at 4.09, which is in their A- category. Maybe these guys are not getting it as fresh either. I can't explain why their numbers are where they're at. But like I said, if I'd have had this in March or April, I would have probably gave it a 10 this time. Because I remember how strong and pungent that Sumatra coffee was the last time I had it. So, if you see it, pick it up fresh. Look for it again. I wouldn't, like I said, I would not even go buy this right now unless you're not a big coffee fan and you're like a mild coffee influence, which is what this has got to it now. Next year in March or April of 2018, you see this beer, pick it up. I guarantee you, if you're a coffee fan, you're probably going to like it, guys. So, if I see it again, I may pick it up. I don't know if it's, I don't get all the Founders beers here. I get a lot of them. But this is probably one of those beers, unless you're there, when it shows up, everybody buys it up and it's gone. You go in the next week and it's not going to be there because it's gone. That's just how it works. So, unless you're on a list like the KBS or the CBS, some of their highly sought after beers, unless you're there when it shows up, and I don't know if this one is that way. I'm just guessing there, guys. So, drink it fresh. Beer is always better fresh, no matter what you're drinking, whether you're drinking a Budweiser or you're drinking something with coffee or hops in it. Fresher is always better. You wouldn't want to buy milk that's 2 months old or a loaf of bread. It's the same for beer. It's exactly the same for beer. The fresher it is, the better it's going to be. Unless you're buying something that's bourbon barrel aged, a lot of those beers get a little better over time. But just be aware of what you're buying. That's where I'm going to leave it. Not going to harp on it for a long time. So if you've had this from Founders Brewing Company, the Sumatra Mountain Brown, let me know what you think. I think it's an excellent beer, guys, if you can get it fresh. So if you have, let me know what you think. Until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.